What does it take to stand out in an industry where thousands of dreamers chase the same spotlight? For today's guest, Belle Guillory, the answer has been courage, strong role models, and an unshakable belief that anything is possible. Belle is an award-winning actress and filmmaker who has quickly become one of Hollywood's most exciting rising stars. Hailing from Austin, Texas, she earned a scholarship to the prestigious New York Film Academy's Acting for Film program in Burbank, where she began shaping her skills as a performer. Since then, Belle has worked with icons like Tracee Ellis Ross and director Stephen Gyllenhaal. That's Jake and Maggie's dad, if you didn't know. She landed the captivating role of Cricket in the awesomely named movie Bitch Ass. Yes, Bitch Ass, a film that earned the Audience Award at South by Southwest, now streaming on Paramount Plus, Showtime Plus, and BET. But beyond the screen, what makes Belle unforgettable is her desire to broaden representation on the screen. In this conversation, you'll hear Belle's reflections on navigating Hollywood as a young woman of color, the lessons she's carried from working alongside industry legends, and how she's paving her own path as both an actress and a filmmaker. If you've ever wondered what it takes to break through barriers and stay rooted in your purpose, you'll want to stick around. Hey there, Belle. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Jennifer, and
Oh
a
my God, look
beautiful
how
introduction.
you are just such a beautiful human being. I can't wait to dive in because after reading up about you, watching a lot of your videos, I just was so jazzed and really, really excited to introduce you to the Human Beauty Movement podcast audience. So, you have to start from the beginning and tell us what inspired you to pursue acting. Seriously, how the heck did you win this scholarship to the New York Film Academy?
Wow, that is a great question how I even got into it. Well, coming from I was born in Austin, Texas, then I was raised in Big Spring, Texas, a small town. When I was around 10 years old, I was a very shy kid, by the way. I was the kid that would not talk in
Ooh.
class. I was very shy growing up. And I remember doing my first musical when I was 10 years old in the 5th grade. And I don't know, something just ignited in me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this." And that's kind of what made me want to do acting. And so, but the older I got, coming from a small town, you start to think, is it realistic? Can I do this? Is this something I can actually do? And I was like, I'll just get my degree in marketing. So I went to college and got my degree in marketing. But it was actually a friend, having a good friend around me. They were like, "Belle, there's an agency up the street, from our college, an acting agency. You should go. You've always wanted to do
Really?
this." And I was like,
Oh.
wow, okay. So I went, and then there was a competition through the agency. There was a competition in Dallas, and I went to it, and I did a monologue for one of the recruiters. My agent introduced me to one of the recruiters at New York Film Academy. He was like, "You got to go to this school. I see you not just acting, but writing, directing." I think the most beautiful thing about my journey is people who spoke life over me to because sometimes, you don't
Yeah.
believe in yourself when things get
Yeah.
hard, but it takes I had a friend say this one time. Sometimes people see your light in you before you see it. And
Isn't that true?
yeah, and so that really and my mom was always a big supporter as well the whole time. And she was like, "You should go." Because at first I was like, "Film school? What? I'm about to be done with my marketing degree. Do I want to go to school?" Continue school. She was like, "No, this is something you always wanted to do. Do it." And so you take that leap of faith from Texas to LA, and then that's what brought me here. And I'm so glad I did it because it was such a great transitional period being in school in LA and navigating it with other students and stuff. So it was really great.
Amazing. So what do they teach you in that school?
So at New York Film Academy, it's a conservatory. So I did the
Uh-huh.
acting for film program. But the great thing about being at a conservatory is they teach you all aspects of film to really prepare you. So I
Mm.
had not only acting classes or on-screen classes, but I had screenwriting classes. I had to learn about
Mm.
past films, we talking about the 1930 German films we had to study. And so they teach you everything. And we also had a great opportunity to make our own short films on the Universal backlog. So we really got exposed to
Oh.
what we can really step into, which is great.
That is really cool. Yeah, you're learning all different sides. It's funny because I have a stepdaughter who is now a PA, and so she's she's been working on some short form commercials, music videos, and right now she's working on her very first feature, which is like a 3-week stint for her. Exhausting. There's so much that goes on. You have to tell everybody what it's actually like to be on a set, whether it's either on camera or behind the camera. What is it like?
Well, like you said, it is a grind, y'all. It is a grind. You're working 12 to sometimes 16-hour days, whether that's in front of the camera or behind the camera, because people don't know, like, it takes a lot of moving parts. Like, this is really a team effort and a team activity. It's really not a solo run at all, because you got the people that do lights, the people that do camera, people that do wardrobe, people that do makeup, people like, and you really need all of them. I truly feel to really bring together a successful project, which is something I love. I love teamwork as well. But yeah, so just to kind of step through, guys, it's funny because I heard someone say, man, this is not as glamorous as it looks, but
Right? It is. It's grunt work. It's a grind.
it's not
And you
work.
make it look so easy.
Because I've worked as a PA as well. And it's funny, like when I first started PAing, I had a friend being like, you lost so much weight, you got so skinny because you're standing all day.
Yes.
I wasn't even working out. I was just standing all day.
Yep. Yep.
And so
She showed me her watch and she's like, look what I did the other day. And it was 10.26 miles, like 29,000 steps. And her dad, who's also in the industry, he's a first AD, and he was the one who introduced her to being a PA. He's like, if I see you standing still, you better be running. Like, you cannot be sitting down. You cannot be standing still. You got to be going and hustling and running. Otherwise, I'm going to be mad.
exactly. You are on the move. That's a great way to say it too. You are on the move. Cause like, especially with like being a PA, like if they need something, they're depending on you now. The power is now in your hands, young grasshopper.
Yeah.
To
And they're on the
go,
clock.
yeah, to go get that and come back on time. I remember being a PA one time on a commercial. It's so funny. Oh my goodness. I had to run and we needed a flag for on set. I needed to get lunches. I needed to get all these things. And I was just running everywhere. And if you know West Hollywood, it's super congested.
Yeah.
Like no parking. And so I remember when I finally got back, they're like, what took you so long? I was like, listen, I have no idea. So yeah, it really is a hustle culture for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. And I think that the beauty of it is that on screen, they'll make it look so easy. It seems like so effortless. And I think back to like my dancing and my ballet days and my gymnastics days. I mean, and that's the art of it. It's like you work so hard to make it look effortless, to make it look so simple. And sometimes we take it for granted until you kind of see the credits rolling and you're like, look at the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who worked on this. It's amazing how much coordination and effort a production can take, especially the ones that are multi-million dollars worth. It's just huge.
OMG. And I get blown away still. Like if I go to the movies, I'm like, wow, how did they do this? Oh my gosh, this is great.
Exactly.
Because I
It's like,
know
this is a work of art. Yeah.
exactly. And especially like what people don't know, like on the acting side, is like sometimes you're doing that take multiple times and you have no idea that it probably took them 4 times to refilm that and reset up. Like it really does take a lot. But
Yeah.
that's why we call it movie magic, because
Yeah, all the things just come together. And I think now a lot of people have developed more of an appreciation for it once they've seen like things like Adolescence or The Studio where they did the oneer. It's like to actually be able to do something start to finish in one take. I can't get through a sentence without tripping over my tongue, let alone doing like a whole half hour or an hour with, no breaks. Otherwise, everybody has to go back to one and reset and do it all again.
go
You do
up
not want to be that person that flubs a line or trips over a
seriously.
light.
And that's why I loved Adolescence too, like seeing that. And it kind of reminds me of, because I had a teacher tell me one time, if you want to be a famous actor, do movies. If you want to be a rich actor, do TV. But if you want to be a good actor, do theater. Because theater, you're doing it
Mm,
all in that. Like you don't have retakes in theater. You're like in front of an
interesting.
audience. And so I feel like they kind of brought that theater aspect in it when they're like, okay, we're gonna do it all the way through, which is why we're also giving like them their
Yeah.
flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've done all of that. You've done theater and like what do you have a preference or do you have like different things that you've been taking from each of them so far?
I love that question. I really like all of them. To me, it's about the character. I like to feel connected
Mm.
to the work. and the words and the messaging behind it. So
Mhm.
if that's in theater, if that's in movies, if that's in TV, whatever the case may be, I'm gonna love it regardless. But I really did take a little bit from everything, because it's funny. You kind of have to learn to switch on and switch off if you're going
Mhm.
from theater to film and TV. Because for instance, when I was like so focused on film and TV, once I booked a play, you're on stage and I'm talking like this, and I'm like, oh, hold on, I have to
Project.
project. And so I had to learn to flip that. And then once I went back to doing auditions for film and TV, I had a coach that was like, you have to tone it down. You have to tone it down. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to remember like to flip back and forth. So that's
Yeah.
something I take. But something I take from theater into, I think, film and TV, or I guess both, is like you need to have an intensity. Cause like with film and TV, they really look into your eyes, like, and you don't have to do too much. But then with
Mhm.
theater, you have to like really be kind of more like animated. So
Mhm.
just having that intensity behind both, like learn how to get
Mhm.
subtle and then when you got to go big, if that makes sense. So that's something I take.
Yeah, I think that that's been a unique thing that I've heard a lot of actors say when they're doing on the screen is that they'll get direction that's like less, less, less. And they're like, am I even acting anymore? And but that's the point. It should
Yeah.
seem like you are not acting. It's just like you're just being your normal self, or so to speak, in a character role. But yeah, it definitely comes through as being much more genuine, I suppose, if you can just like tone it down. Whereas theater, you got to project to the back of the auditorium, the screen,
100%. I had a teacher once say for film and TV acting, it needs to sound like a real conversation. Like if he walked by me, he would think I was really
Mhm.
having a conversation with someone.
Well, yep, that is true. Hit subscribe right now for more soulful stories and inspiring conversations with me and the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Who are your early role models or your influences in film, theater, acting, all that?
My early role models, I always loved going to like the kid stuff, I always loved like That's So Raven. So that's more in like
Uh,
the
yeah,
space, the comedy.
Raven.
Like I always loved her and her sense of humor. That was my
Mm-hmm.
girl. When it gets into like film, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, like,
Oh,
especially in the whole drama space, like
oh my
you
gosh.
just get lost in the performances. So he's definitely one, as well, and Viola Davis, for
Mm.
sure, those two. But then in the comedy space, I have to say like Raven and Chris Tucker. Those are my people.
Chris Tucker. Yeah,
Rush Hour was
yeah.
our thing. But yeah,
Yeah, he takes me back to The Fifth Element, you know?
no, right? And you know what? Eddie Murphy too.
Eddie Murphy, yeah, he's definitely a legend in these parts for sure for acting. Wow. So, all right. So, how was it to work alongside like Tracee Ellis Ross, Stephen Gyllenhaal? Did you get any lessons, or what did you learn, and how was it when you were with them?
I learned so much about this industry from both of them that I'm so incredibly grateful for those experiences. Starting with Steven, I'll start with him first because I was with him first and probably the longest. I learned some, this may sound like unconventional to say, but it's okay to take naps. That man taught me it's okay to take a nap, like a
Oh,
power nap.
wow.
Yes, I'm a big napper in general, but sometimes you're like, no, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. But something about Steven is he would take the time to take a 10-minute nap, a 15-minute nap.
Hmm.
So I know that sounds so random, but because you want to present your best self. And he told me he would do that on sets too. Like he'd find a
Hmm.
sandbag and just like lay down for like
Relax.
and so I think it's important to show up as your best self. And so if that means like resetting your mind in an app, like to present your best self forward, like that. So that is something I learned from him. Like, okay, it's okay to take a nap.
Hmm.
With Tracee, I learned so much about what it means to be a Black woman in a white
Hmm.
male dominated space and to hold your
Hmm.
thought she just has such a presence to command respect. And I feel like in a lot of ways, like for me in general, like I told you, like as a kid, like being shy and stuff, sometimes it can be easily like, especially if you're around like a bunch of people who maybe like this is their set, because being an actor, you're coming on to the set. But
Hmm.
making it like, no, I'm a part of this too. And making your presence known. I think it's something I learned from her which is powerful, like to really, because sometimes I guess what I'm trying to say is like well, for me, I'm gonna speak for me. You can feel small, like, okay, like let me just do this. Like you want to please everybody, I guess. But she told me like, no, if I don't like this, I'm gonna let it be known. If this is wrong,
Wow.
I'm gonna let it be known. And she's not
Wow.
afraid to tell who it needs to be told to. And I love that because it's funny because like after that, I started with my own projects. And it's like we're saying these things to make production go, one, the best it can be the best it can be, run as smoothly as it can and efficiently as it can. And
Mm.
so, and sometimes you just gotta make it known.
Mm.
And so I really like that about Tracee. And she's a hard worker. Like I saw her not only juggling like being on set, but her hair care business. And so,
Yeah.
juggling those things and just being a boss. And also like even though she commanded respect, she still gave such a kindness to everyone. And I love that
Mm.
too. To me, the word that came into my head is like a queen. What is a queen? Because nowadays in this generation, we're like, yeah, queen. Yes, but what is a queen? She commands respect. She carries herself a certain way, but yet she's kind. She's gentle to others, but she puts her foot down when it needs to be put down. And so I feel
Mm.
like got to really see like what that means, what a queen means. Like it's not just like yes, queen. It's like no, like you get what I'm saying? Am I
I think that that is such a perfect word for her. Yeah, and it's such a great role model to have, and it's good because sometimes I think when you're younger and when you're just, like, breaking in, you don't wanna be seen as difficult. To your point, you wanna be like, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say. I'm here to learn. I'm here to absorb whatever you think is best." And obviously, she's cut her teeth. She's gotten to the place where she's able to say, "No, that's not right," and that she probably has a really good eye for those things and a good mind for
Yes.
what the scene should be like and what her character will do, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think perhaps you don't want to be seen as difficult. Perhaps you don't want to be seen as a diva or come across as kind of overstepping. But yeah, when you are directing or if you are the actual producer and filmmaker, I think that that's something that's really good to learn is that confidence and to have that vision of what you believe is what you want to see manifest and then just not compromise when we feel that the integrity of the production is going to be at stake.
100%. Yes. So true.
Wow, amazing. Okay, so tell us about your script writing because you had written this wonderful, and I actually did watch it. Is it called
A time to remember.
A Time to Remember? You wrote for the NAACP, you wrote this script. You had a short film produced called A Time to Remember, and that was very sweet. Can you tell us about that and why that was written and what it was all about?
Yes. Oh, that was such a great time. And it's crazy like how that came about because I remember praying before I was like, God, I want more opportunities to like practice this craft and like to go up in it. And so I had a friend submit. So the NAACP, they hold something every year called the Cinematic Shorts Competition, where they select 6 directors and writers and they pair you up in teams of 2, and you have to write and direct a short film with a certain budget for the NAACP surrounding different
Ah.
topics on like Black social injustice. And so I got selected out of hundreds of like submissions, which I'm so grateful for to them as well. And my partner was Colton Nixon. Shout out to him. He's in his master's at USC. And so one of the topics so there was a few different topics that we could have chose from, but something that really resonated with me that I had already seen like a couple of years prior was about the book bans and
Mhm.
how some schools already are changing Black history from slavery to Black immigration. Like it's already happening
Mhm.
in schools and textbooks. And that just really resonated with me years ago when I first read that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is my opportunity to like really bring it to life. And Colton, he loved it as well because his mom was a teacher in Seattle. And she actually showed the film to her class, which we appreciate because the kids loved it as well. So that was great to get their feedback. And so pretty much the story is about a dystopian future where our history is gone. Like if we're already taking the steps now, Lord forbid what's going to happen in the future. And so
Mhm.
our history has been removed, our books have been removed, and our history is now condensed into this small, thin
Little
paper
tiny,
book,
tiny book.
a
Mhm.
tiny book. And I related to the character Era because growing up in West Texas, because I was about 10 when we moved to Big Spring, the class, I was sometimes, most of the time, the only Black kid in the class. And like, there's so many times if we did talk about like Black history or slavery specifically, it's the
Mhm.
eyes start looking at who? you. And it could be uncomfortable. And so when your history is condensed to just that, and now it's being called Black immigration, it's like, what do you know about yourself? And so it's this journey of Era kind of like denying it, like, no, like there has to be more than just that. And the CEO of Black history, this magical character, taking her on a journey of learning about our history, because we're so much more than that. Scientists, inventors, poets, artists, even before that, kings and queens. And it's something you said before the interview, like when you see it, you believe that you can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's important, I think, for anybody to know that, whether you're Black or any race, like if you do see it, you can believe you do it. But specifically with the Black community, like having the means to see that, it can uplift. And because I know for myself, like writing and directing, like seeing Issa Rae, like
Ah,
I was like, oh my gosh, I remember being in college. I had an ex, well, a boyfriend at the time. He was like, you remind me of this girl. And he showed me her web series at the time, An Awkward Black Girl. And I was like, hold on, I don't have to just act. I can actually just make it. Like, and so that kind of also propelled me to take advantage of film school as well later on. But going back to the NAACP. And so with her going on this journey of learning her Black history, she's also trying to share it with her classmates. Like, look, like there's so much more that we just don't know. And then they stand up for her at the end, like, no, these books need to be told, which together they stand. Okay.
together they stand. At the end, they'll
Yeah.
stand.
Going back to the alternate title, Together We Stand. They stand up with her and they're like, yes. And so, and then she finds out that this magical character is actually her great great grandfather, who was an inventor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she likes inventions and stuff like that. So yeah, it comes around full circle at the end.
Yeah, it was very sweet. And I think that just the whole lesson about Erasure was done in a very gentle way. I mean, it could have been done, in a very much more provocative way, but I think it's important. It's just, to me, so, so important to remember the roots, not necessarily be held back by them, but say, like, look how far we've come, and not erase and try to recreate and reimagine what might have happened. I mean, to call it Black immigration, oh my goodness. I hadn't heard that statement, that phrase, until I watched this short film, but I was like, wow, I can see how this is happening. By the way, how are you feeling today? Like, how are you feeling in this day and age right now? It seems like
it's in God's hands, okay? We're in God's hands. We take it one day at a time.
I feel like I just wake up and I'm like, call it stranger than fiction. Like, I think we all just are living in like an alternate reality right now.
Yes, no, seriously. Sometimes it's funny you said that, because I was driving yesterday and I was like, whoa, why do I feel like I'm in a dream? Like, is this even real?
Right.
Am I in a dream? But yes, to your point, I love what you said, like to not reimagine history or anything like that, or it to hold us back, but to like, yeah, empower us. And that's why I wanted as well for Era, like to like, this should empower you.
Wow. What would be your vision for people on screen, for art these days, for how you might want to write certain movies or shows going forward?
I really do think being in film and TV in Hollywood, we do have some sort of a responsibility to spread like positive messages, or messages that can promote change.
Mm-hmm.
My journey, I feel like, just has prepared me to be in this industry, funny enough. So being in high school and in college, I did debate, speech and debate. And what a lot of people don't know with debate is there's these categories where you pretty much, you have an important message, like a political message or an inspiring message, and you put art with that to move your audience or move your judge. So yes, there's the actual like debate categories, but then there's something called interpretation, where you take poetry, prose, plays, and you act them out to promote a message. And doing that has really inspired me, like, hold on, we have a responsibility that we can really share. And some do great jobs at it already, like spreading positive messages. But I think we can really promote change with the shows, movies, and that's what I personally want to do. Like with the NAACP, like you said, that's promoting a message of erasure, but in a gentle way, because I love family content since I grew up in a big family. I'm the eldest of 7. So like family is like just so important to me. So I always think like, what would I want my siblings to watch? What would I want my family to have watched back in the day? Like when we would watch things together. And it surrounds the messaging of positivity, uplifting, something and change, because I think we can really change. Like, I always hear the saying, like, what is it? Art imitates life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, then let's put out some good art. We doing if we want our life to imitate that, let's really promote some goodness into the world and change, because we've seen in the past like how a movie can. Sorry, I had thought of one idea of how like a movie promoted change. The R. Kelly documentary. No one arrested that man until the documentary came out. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? Like
It's like all these true crime things coming.
I know, now I'm thinking of all these true crime things. I'm like, hold on, I'm back.
I'm thinking about Only Murders in the Building.
And it's like, we can really show people what they can be and what reality can be and what we can do to change our own reality. And so I think it's a very powerful tool, and it can touch a lot of people very quickly. So that's why I love like entertainment. And we just have that responsibility to carry the torch and do good things.
Oh my goodness, that is so great. And speaking of which, tell us about God Be With Us, because you wrote that and it's streaming and it was so cute. I actually watched it yesterday and I thought that it was just really sweet, very humorous. Tell me all about that and how that came to be.
Wow, God Be With Us. That has a very special place in my heart, because we grew up very religious. And so obviously kids, like, what are we doing? Come on, y'all. And so growing up, I would look at like other people, like people could do things I couldn't do. And so I was like, man, like, I just want to be normal. I just want to fit in. I just want to be like everyone else. I want to live my high school movie dreams, like all the high school 90s movies that you see. You're like, man, I want to do that. I want to be popular. I want to go to parties. I want to live life. And I think we're always taught that, like, obviously the world and the spiritual world are different. But to me, I felt that God was with me through everything. And that's what I want to promote with that, is like, God is with you through everything, through you going to your first party, obviously for the teenagers, adolescents, through you messing up, driving your car. Like, God is with you in everyday life. And so I really wanted to, promote a relationship with God in a human way. Like, she calls God her homie, her best friend. Like, she goes to him for everything. And that is literally what I do to this day. Like, and to just humanize that relationship a lot more and not hide it. Like, it's part of every day, and to just normalize it. Like, he's with you every day. So yeah, when she takes that edible, guess what? He's still there. He actually showed up more than she expected.
Probably more so than ever.
Exactly. And so in a humorous, funny, hopefully relatable way, people can see like, okay, I can have a relationship with him too.
It's really cute because the dad is a pastor, and then there's the pastor's wife is the mom, and they have a very cute kind of banter back and forth as well. It's like, praise the Lord Jesus and all that. Yeah. And then your character goes to school in a new place for the first time, meets some cool girls, and gets invited to the party, and they end up doing things that the parents would wish that the child did not do, but what can you do? And meets a boy.
There's always a boy there.
There's always a boy, very sweet boy, sticks up for her, even though she hasn't done a lot of the things that the other girls have done. She's still learning the ropes and all that. What would happen if there's a sequel to that show?
Well, that is the goal, is to turn into a series. We've been working on that, pitching it to different places. So hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers up, it turns into a series. What it would dive into is her at school. Like, something that people kept asking me even when it was done was like, Belle, we want to see her at school. I'm like, girl, I want to see her at school too. And so her going to school and to just dive into that relationship a lot more. Like, how is she at school? How is she fitting in? And also like her journey. Because I think, as we see, Belle has this close relationship with God. But as we know, sometimes things aren't always smooth rolling, especially in life, and how she deals with challenges challenges. She's coming from this bubble. How does she deal with life challenges when things don't go your way? And when you deal with things like betrayal and like losing love and like just these everyday things, like she's really just gonna have to grow not only in herself, because this is a coming of age story and like she's finding her identity and her belonging, but in her faith as well.
Yeah. Hit subscribe right now for more stories and inspiring conversations with me, Jennifer Norman, the host of the Human Beauty Movement podcast. What shows out there right now do you really appreciate and watch on a regular basis?
Oh, it's like I said, I have siblings, so they always put me on to something. I just finished The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Okay.
I love the teen, the coming of age, adolescent, YA stories. They're fun. So I was watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, but in general, the shows I love Everybody Hates Chris.
Yes.
Watch that on repeat.
Do you watch Abbott Elementary?
Oh yes, Abbott Elementary. Yes.
Love
Quinta
that.
is also definitely an inspiration for me as well.
Love
Abbott. What else? I love me some. I just watched something on Netflix.
I do that all the time. I'm always like, what did I just watch? I've been binge watching something and I don't remember anything from it. I don't remember the title. I can see the faces, but I don't remember anybody's names.
Literally. But I love me a little drama mystery as well. And then if I'm doing something, I gotta put me on some reality TV, okay? I'm sorry. I did watch Love Island, okay?
You did. I tried. I couldn't do it.
A lot was going on. I don't blame you, but but we got through it. But yeah, I love a good little reality dating show. So while I'm doing laundry or something like that. So yeah. But no, I do love Abbott. And then what else was out? Oh yeah, I think they canceled it, but The Wonder Years, me and my mom like that. Oh, Squid Game. Oh my goodness, Squid Game.
You watched season 2?
Yes. No, that one's good too.
Very interesting that a lot of the Korean genre is coming out. Did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters?
Oh my goodness. I watched it like 4 times.
I was going to say, yeah, I've got like the soundtrack is on repeat. I constantly on in my house having a younger one in the house. And yeah, can't get away from it. I just went to Comic-Con LA over the weekend and it was all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, really? They were there. Oh, man, they're on it. No, it was so good. I watched that, like 4 times, and I do have the soundtrack on my phone.
So
like,
good.
Netflix is killing the game, and I love the Korean music, the K-pop girlies, the shows are coming up.
It's crazy. As a Korean adopted woman, who I am now, but I was being younger, I knew nothing about my heritage. I did not know the language. I grew up with a white family, and I grew up kind of embarrassed to be Asian. I grew up on Long Island where there just wasn't very many in that particular area. There just wasn't very many Asian people. And I always felt so awkward and out of place. And then all of a sudden K-beauty came and I'm like, what? Like, I just didn't understand it. Like, how is it possible that like Korean beauty is a thing? And then all of a sudden it's like K-pop stars and the bands are like 10 deep. They're all in synchronized, doing the dancing and the girls and the boys. And I actually had the opportunity to speak at a K-Con one year for the adoption agency that I came from, which is called HULT. And they were having adoptees and like this forum and a panel discussion. And I was speaking. And then afterwards I was able to go to the concert and my ears were ringing for days after that because it was so loud from all the screaming and all the fans were just so nuts. It was amazing. And I was like, wow. And kimchi, the Korean food, all of the culture is now like very, very trendy. So, and a lot of the shows, Parasite and Squid Games, all of that is like, wow, there's just so much interest in K culture these days. It's to me, I was like, why didn't this happen when I was growing up and I was tortured?
I know the timing and the quality I think that they just bring to their work is just top tier.
There is some meticulousness in the design and the craftsmanship. Yeah, it's really quite extraordinary. And I saw that in a lot of like the K-beauty skincare products where you'd see just like the attention to detail was so refined. So I was very proud of that.
You should, girl. Korean skincare is all I use. I'm letting you know that. That's my skin.
What do you use? Okay, yeah, do you use, like,
You
the
know the Face Shop?
snail? The fa
Oh,
of course,
I use the
yes.
Face Shop, the Rice Water Bright line.
Okay,
I
yeah,
used to do the TikTok live streams for them to
mhm,
promote the products, but I actually obviously, I used the product, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, who knew rice was so
yeah.
beneficial?" I never knew.
Yeah. You know what's a very interesting factoid that a lot of people probably didn't know is that things like rice and soy, like these ingredients came about because there were workers in the fields and they were picking soybeans or they were making rice and all that. And all of a sudden, somebody noticed that their hands looked so beautifully clear, clean, white, youthful compared to the rest of their skin. And they were like, what the? And it turned out that it was because of the rice and the soy, things like that, that actually helped to make the skin look younger. And so that's essentially where it came from. And now you see like soy and things like that in a lot of these skincare products because of the way that it was discovered, which I thought was very interesting as far as just a little tidbit.
Wow. That is crazy. That is great. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's true. And a lot of the natural ingredients is very interesting to see how they've derived. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it doesn't work as well as like the chemical stuff. And certainly there are a lot of great, and I love all types of products, natural and unnatural, to be honest with you. I do. But they all have their place and whatnot. And I find joy in a lot of things. But yeah, it's just interesting to see the whole kind of panoply of different kinds of products that are coming from all over the place. Very, very cool.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you do for your makeup? You have such beautiful
Makeup.
skin.
Oh, thank you. It's funny because, like I said, I used to do beauty TikTok live streams. I
Mhm.
restopped to focus on like film and TV and stuff. And so I got to try all these different makeup products. So right now on my face, I have, you said it, kimchi, but kimchi beauty. I don't know. You've heard of kimchi chic? Their concealer, so good.
Ah.
What is it? It starts with the S for bronzer, but it's not kimchi. It's I'm using all sorts of products on my face. Hold on. It's natural. It's not sage. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like sage?
I gotta go look at it. But that one for bronzers, kimchi's powder is really good. They have like a pink powder. They have
Mm.
all the shades, so I really like their powders. I also use One Size a lot.
Mm.
Patrick Star.
Patrick Star.
Yeah, like the three main brands I probably use is Patrick Star's One Size line, Kimchi Chic's line, and even some Elf. Y'all can't be sleeping on Elf.
Oh, Elf is amazing. Elf is
Like,
absolutely amazing.
absolutely. They have some great products for a reasonable price.
Mhm.
So I like them as well. So those are like my top three brands. I'll just leave it at that.
Awesome, awesome. And I love your coily hair. You have such beautiful hair.
Oh,
What do you like to do with your hair?
okay, so thank you. I literally just trimmed it last night as well, like literally curl by curl. So the products I usually vary from products, but I shampoo once a week. I've been using Dr. Groot's for like the past
Mm.
year. You heard of Dr. Groot's?
Okay.
The shampoo, the thickening shampoo.
All right.
Deep conditioner, y'all, that Camille Rose, okay? It is so moisturizing. And then, so when I went to curly hair specialist, because for the past few years, I've only been to like curly hair stylists
Mhm.
who also trim my hair. I just decided to do it myself because I thought they were cutting too much. Something that one of them told me is to just use a gel and a mousse. And that is something I never heard of. So moisturizing gel though. So I'll vary between moisturizing gels that have like avocado oil or
Mm.
flaxseed oil. So
Mhm.
that brand can differ.
Mm.
Whatever that Sally's really. And then a nice mousse to lock it in. And then yeah, the curls
They're
just be
gorgeous. Oh, I love your natural hair. It's
cute.
stunning. Yeah, yeah. No, I think that a lot of people, it's hard to figure out what to do with your hair, especially if you've got curls and coils. I know it can be difficult. A lot of times it is trial and error. You can go to an expert and then they'll make it look amazing. And then trying to recreate it is like, it's so hard.
And it took me a while to actually appreciate my curly hair because in high school, I used to
Isn't that true?
all the time until I will never forget it. But God bless him. I had a friend, he was a gay guy. He was like, "Your hair smells burnt." And I was like,
Oh,
Ever since then, I was like, "You know what? Let me figure out my curls." Like, but hey,
God
sometimes
bless the truthfulness of a gay
exactly,
friend. That's all I have to
exactly,
say. That is a
exactly.
friend that you need to keep forever because they will never lie to you.
Seriously, exactly. Because some people be like, "Oh my god, they say this," but when people tell me things,
That is a
I don't
friend.
defend it. I'm like, "You know what?
No,
Okay,
thank
maybe
you.
I need to do something." And also, another girl in the class one time, my hair was straight. She was like, "You should straighten your hair," and I was like, "It is straight," but it was like goofy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay, we getting too many comments now. Now let me just start figuring it out." And it was trial and error for a very long time. And still now I'm still learning so many new things.
Mhm.
But hey, you just gotta dive in.
Mhm, mhm. Well, it's fabulous. Natural hair. Keep it up, girl.
Yeah, you
Okay,
got some ways too. Sorry.
I actually used to crimp and iron today. Just
Ooh,
because I have my hair is thinning. I'm at that place where it's just like I'm finding more of it on the floor than on my head. So,
iron.
yeah, I do the biotin, I do the iron, I do a lot the B vitamins and all of that. So, it's just that time of the season for me, I think. But, I wanna ask you before we continue, we have to talk about Bitch Ass because I can't say that title of that movie without just, like, chuckling to myself, but how was it to do a horror genre? That was really interesting. I liked your character. She had
You
a lot of
watched
sass.
it?
I watched the part that you had on your website. Yeah, I
Oh,
liked her sassiness for sure.
nice.
Mhm.
Okay, bitch ass. It's funny because I don't like horror movies. I don't typically indulge in it. It's not my cup of tea, but the thing is my family loves horror movies. So I end up watching it with them anyway. So it was kind of funny. Like this was probably one of my first like bigger roles. And I was like, dang, it's a horror film. But I had gotten everything I wanted because I remember around the time I was praying, I was like, man, I really want to do a movie with an ensemble cast, a black ensemble cast, and like we're
Mm,
like playing like young teens, like we're playing
mm,
teen. I literally got that in Bitch Ass, which is so funny.
mhm,
And so the process was great though. I really enjoyed it. The cast was great. I was with guys like around my age, so we got to really lean on each other. And I don't know if you see my scene, the scene where I go in. And so, well, first let
Were
me
you
explain,
playing
I guess.
Connect 4? That one or the
Yes.
yeah.
We Connect 4. So, for anyone, if you do watch it, it's pretty much about these 4, like, teens. They're trying to get into a gang, and it's a gang initiation that they have to go rob this house. And the person's house that it belongs to, they nicknamed him Bitch Ass because our gang leader knew him when they were, like, I guess, teens, and they just
Ah,
called him Bitch Ass. And so that name
that's where the name comes from.
that name stuck with him. And so
Ah,
and they thought the house was empty because they never knew what happened to the kid, and they thought that his grandma just passed and, like, she was rich, so they were gonna go rob the house. But little do they
ah.
know, bitch ass is still up in there preparing for them.
He's all up in there.
Exactly. He's all up in there, and he set these childhood games like Operation Connect 4 with a twist, and we'll see who survives at the end.
Ah.
So yeah, but it was really fun. It's funny, I don't like scary movies, but I actually had fun with this. Like it was actually a lot of fun. Like because my character, she was like cracking jokes. She was kind of the goofball.
Uh.
And it's funny when my friends out there like, were you just playing yourself? Kinda. And so, but she wants to be one of the guys, and she just doesn't know what's about to come. But she's probably the toughest out of all of them, funny enough. Because when she meets
Mhm.
bitch ass, she's not going down without a fight.
Yeah.
But
But
I
stay
think she
tuned,
survived.
stay tuned. Yeah, I'm curious because I've heard of some people when they do a movie which is very taxing, it might be a horror film or a drama where there's a lot of tragedy or something like that, they get really affected in their personal emotional life, and some of them have to go to therapy afterwards to kinda work it out. I was just curious
Yes.
how that does. Are you able to separate that from your everyday?
It's funny because no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've definitely heard them say that. I don't know, it didn't affect me that much. I guess because I connected with cricket in different ways. Like for
Mm,
instance, I never knew this, but once my aunt watched it,
mm.
she said like they said that her nickname was Cricket as a kid.
Oh,
And it's just like
interesting.
how it was connected, how things were just
Yeah.
connected through this. I was like, wow, that is actually interesting. And then obviously I have my faith. Cricket sees Jesus literally while she's robbing the house. She's like, Jesus, don't judge me, please. And it's funny because I heard in a roundtable of actresses say this, and I think it's so true. Like the characters you end up playing, they do, maybe not always, but they do already have some kind of alignment, some kind of connection with you. Like I mentioned, like the cricket thing, my aunt being named that, I never knew that was her nickname. Like I just said, like her looking at Jesus and she's stealing from the house, or like my friend saw that I was already joking and stuff. So the only thing I really had to separate was from her death, and I rebuked that in the name of Jesus. You know, we living our life. Cricket had to go, but I ain't going nowhere. So the good Lord says it's time. And so that's the only thing I had to separate from, because she goes in a kind of way, but hey.
Well, it was, I mean, yeah, it was shown at South by Southwest a couple of years ago, and it actually won an audience award. So, hey.
Yes, it did. And it's funny because the producers actually told me, because I didn't go to South by Southwest, I was still here in LA. They told me that Cricket was a fan favorite. Like
There you
people
go.
really loved her character. So
All right, then. Way to go, Cricket. Way to go, Belle. To ask you too, like for young people trying to get creative juices flowing who might feel that the odds are stacked against them, what kind of advice might you give to them when they're kind of a little bit intimidated but want to pursue this kind of a career?
I love that, because it's going to happen at times. That fear or doubt may creep in, but you have to believe in yourself where no one else can, because it really does come down to you. So I would say the things that even kind of helped me have that belief in myself is like, you know, when you feel like you have a calling, like something's just like pulling you to it, don't deny that pulling. Like that pulling is for a reason. And so I think it's better to surrender into it than to try to fight it. And so remember, like I heard Steve Harvey say this once, because I used to go to his show a lot the first year I moved out here. And I feel like I needed to, because he would say so many inspirational things at the end when the cameras cut off. Something he said is that God showed you that vision for a reason. Like you have that vision for a reason, and whether you believe in God or the universe, you like that vision came to you for a reason. And so believe in that, like that vision wasn't shown to your best friend who may not think it's possible, which I had a lot of friends that aren't friends anymore because of the, like they didn't have the belief in themselves either, or they didn't even think I could probably make it out here. But he didn't show the vision to them. He didn't show the vision to your mom, your teacher, whoever's doubting you. He didn't show the vision to them. He showed it to you. So it's up to you to fulfill it. So you just got to believe like, okay, I'm seeing this vision for a reason. I'm being called to this for a reason. Let me go for it. Let me believe in myself and bet on myself to go do it.
Amen, girlfriend. That is some great, great, great advice. Okay, now to end, I ask 3 questions that every human being carries deep inside of them: beauty, being, and belief. So these are questions that remind us all about what connects us, our beauty, humanity, and the truths we live by. So Belle, I ask you first question: what makes you beautiful?
Oh, I love that. I honestly think I guess it's a few things, but intertwined with me is my spirit, my personality, I guess together, and my kindness. Like just because when I see people, I always see the best in people, which sometimes could be to a fault, but still, even if you done me wrong, I'm still praying great things for you. Like, so I think that is what makes me beautiful, is like the willingness to see the beauty in people and the good in people, and to just, remain kind no matter what I've been through, no matter who's knocked me down, no matter what I've been told on the journey. Is like, you still just keep that light shining and don't let anyone dim it. Ooh.
Ooh, yes. Kindness is the biggest beauty secret of all. All right, second question. What does it mean to be human?
Wow, what does it mean to be human? I'm gonna just go with the first things that come in my mind, because I think that's the best thing to do. Well, 2 things came into my mind now. I think what it means to be human is to serve one another, honestly, truly. I really think that is what it means to be human. That could be tied with my faith as well, but just because no one can do it alone and no one's gotten to their place without someone's help along the
Mhm.
journey, like, or with someone else. And so I feel like serving one another. It's not about serving you, but like once you serve someone else, and serving can be in a lot of different ways, whether that's just saying a kind word or like helping a kid tie their shoe, or it could be anything.
Mm,
So serving one another, I think, because once you
mhm,
serve someone, I have to give this to my mom actually,
mm.
because my mom taught me. Because so when we were younger, like if people didn't have a ride to church, she would drive them. Like
Oh.
go, she'd pick them up, even if they were the most annoying person in the church that no one else could stand. We would be in the car with them, and so, and so
No judgment in church, y'all.
no judgment. Right. Some of them, and I was
I
just
know.
but my mom would always talk about helping others. She would always help others. And she had 8 kids herself. You know, she had a lot going on herself, but she always helped others. And that's something she taught us, is like when you help others, others will be willing to help you. And that's so true. And it's not just saying like, "Oh, I helped you, you'll help me," because they may not help you
Mhm,
again, and that's okay. But
mhm,
someone else may help you. You'll get repaid in some way or form.
mhm,
And obviously don't do it just to get repaid, but but you will, because God sees it, universe sees it, whether you believe in karma or whatever the case. Like it, when you put good out, good will come back to you. So yeah,
mhm.
serving one another, I think, is what it means to be human.
Oh, what a beautiful answer. And my last question for you is, what's one truth that you live by?
Oh, one truth. One truth that I live by.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like there's so many, so I'm trying to see what comes up. One truth that I live by. Wow. Let's see. I guess it would have to be that, man, that's a good one. Come on, you stumping people.
That's why I like to ask these. It's like, makes you think.
It does. One truth that I live by. Wow, that is so, because I feel like there's so many things I could say. The one that just keeps coming up to me, that just kind of keeps going, is that God is good,
Mm,
and he's working for you. Like I
mm,
think that is something you can also change it if you don't believe in God, that you know the universe is good and the universe is working for you. But
mhm,
for me, it's like, yeah, God is good. He's working it out for you. Literally, I just watched, I don't know if you watch Big Brother, but that's
mm.
been my family's show forever. We watch it every summer. And something that a girl said, she got third, by the way. She said, and they were asking her, like, "Oh my gosh, how do you feel?" She was like, "God's plan is the right plan, and I'm at
Oh,
peace." And I heard that and I was like, whoa, that is so good.
I
Like, you know,
love
like even
that.
though she didn't win, you know, because sometimes you're not gonna win, but it's gonna be for the best. Like I can, oh
Uh-huh.
my goodness, I just thought of a time of like a time I didn't win something, but it actually ended up being like the best thing for me to not
Mm.
win it. And I'm like, yeah, like God is good. The world
God
is,
is
there is good, and it's working for you no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there was an interesting, and I'm going to butcher the quote, but Albert Einstein said, like, one of the biggest questions that we can ask ourselves is the world a friendly place? And
Mm.
if you say yes, then the world is a friendly place. If you say no, think about what your life and how your demeanor will be if you believe that the world is not a friendly place. And that
Wow.
reminds me of your answer, is that God is good. And if you believe God is good, good is God, and your life will resonate in that.
It will.
Truly, truly true. Well, Belle, oh my goodness, I enjoyed our time with each other today. I can't wait to see what you're up to next. Everyone, please go and learn a little bit more about Belle. Watch her stuff. She's on Instagram at what is so cute, Belle
Aw.
Peppa, BellePeppah, Belle Peppa. And the website is Guillory Entertainment. So check her out because you are going to see much, much more of her in the future. Belle, thank you so much for being my guest on the Human Beauty Movement podcast today. It was so awesome to see you.
And thank you for having me, Jennifer. This was absolutely lovely. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you for listening to the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Be sure to follow, rate, and review us wherever you stream podcasts. The Human Beauty Movement is a community-based platform that cultivates the beauty of humankind. Check out our workshops, find us on social media, and share our inspiration with all the beautiful humans in your life. Learn more at thehumanbeautymovement.com. Thank you so much for being a beautiful human.